भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay, so we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 4, verse 41. Iti apaprasya rajarshis chintayan manasachyutam pratyachashta kurushrestha dvijagamanameva saha. Rest of the Kuru dynasty, after he drank some water, iti apaha prasya, after drinking water, Rajarshi is Ambarīṣa, Chintayan Manasa Achyutam. Very, very nice. Chintayan means he meditated in his mind he meditated upon Supreme Lord within his heart. Manasa means mind, heart, the same thing. And waited for the return of the great mystic Durvasa Muni. So he drank some water and he meditated upon the Supreme Lord. Now, obviously, purport is not there. But so at this point of time, there was no special circumstance for Ambarish, meaning it was not like he was in trouble or anything. But it shows the high caliber of his devotion, and that he was all the time, Satatam Chintayanta, all the time thinking, meditating upon the Supreme Lord. Of course, Srila Prabhupada has told us, saying that the easiest process to remember Krishna is to simply chant his name, because as soon as we chant his name, we remember him. Otherwise, our nature, uh, being in this material world for so many lifetimes, we naturally remember things not connected to Krishna, which is natural. Unless we are steeped in service to Krishna so much that we don't have, we don't have time to think about anything else. Otherwise, naturally, the mind will tend towards material things, which could be just routine things also. Like I have to get this, I have to do this, I have to do that, that kind of stuff also. Not necessarily sense gratification. So, if we practice this chanting Krishna's name, whenever we become somewhat free from any kind of direct devotional service, which is if you're not chanting, not participating in arti, not participating, not in shravanam, and none of the direct devotional service activities. And if we just become free for a second also, we should make it a practice to keep taking Krishna's name, whether we have chanting bag in our hand or not. And then it will help us to remember Krishna more easily. Because otherwise it's pretty tough to directly think about Krishna. Of course, there are elevated devotees who can do that also, but general recommendation is to chant Krishna's name. The important thing is that we have to remember this. Ambarīṣa Mahārāja did not have any serious engagement there, right? And he's thinking about the Lord. That's what is required. Durvāsāya munā kūlāt kritāvasyaka āgatah Ragna Bhinanditastasya Bubudhe Cheshtitam Dhiya. After executing the ritualistic ceremonies to be performed at noon, Durvasa returned from the bank of the Yamuna. The king received him well, offering all respects, but Durvasa Muni, by his mystic power, could understand that King Ambarīṣa had drunk water without his permission. Now, this is the problem. Drinking water was not so much of an issue, but drinking water without his permission became an issue. Also, there may be other reasons. Manyuna pachaladgatro bhrukuti kutilananaha bubukshitascha sutaram kritanjalim bhashata. Still hungry. Still hungry. So Durvasa Muni had not eaten. Still hungry. Durvasa Muni, his body trembling because of anger. His face curved and his eyebrows crooked. Bhrukuti. Bhrukuti means eyebrows. We frown. Kutila ananaha. Curved face, meaning some frown. Angrily spoke as follows to King Ambarīṣa, who stood before him with folded hands. So, now obviously Ambarīṣa Mahārāja knew about the anger of Durvasa Muni, right? Everybody knows. And so when Durvasa Muni started showing signs of anger, Ambarīṣa Mahārāja did not change his response because he had not really done anything wrong. So he just stood before him with folded hands in a state of submission, humility, that Durvasa Muni was a superior, etc. Aho asyantru shamsasya shriyon pashyata dharma vyatikramam vishnor abhaktasyesha maninaha. Alas, just see the behavior of this cruel man. He is not a devotee of Lord Vishnu. This was the offense. This was unnecessarily criticizing a great devotee for no reason. Being proud of his material opulence and his position, he considers himself God. Just see how he has transgressed the laws of religion. Now, this thought process of Durvasa Muni is very interesting. Right? Because now he is thinking something which is not at all real. So we'll come to that later. We'll read the purport first. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has diverted the entire meaning of this verse as spoken by Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni used the word Nru Shamsasya to indicate that the king was cruel, but Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur interprets it to mean that the king's character was glorified by all the local people. Now, how is that possible? He says that the word Nru means by all the local people, and that Shamsasya means of he, Ambarīṣa, whose character was glorified. Similarly, one who is very rich becomes mad because of his wealth and is therefore called Shriya Unmattasya. But Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur interprets these words to mean that although Maharaja Ambrish was such an opulent king, he was not mad after money, for he had already surpassed the madness of material opulence. Similarly, the word Isha Maninaha is interpreted to mean that he was so respectful to the Supreme Lord that he did not transgress the laws of observing Ekadashi Parana, despite the thinking of Durvasa Muni, for he only took water. In this way, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has supported Ambarīṣa Mahārāja and all his activities. Now, this is very important to understand. You might be wondering, saying that how did all this, translation is saying something, our Acharya is interpreting it, giving a different meaning. So we should understand, saying that Sanskrit is that kind of a language, right? So though, like great acharyas like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, they know the mood. Okay, Durvasa Muni's mood was to criticize and speak harsh words towards Ambarīṣa Mahārāja. So the translation is exactly what he meant. But Saraswati Devi, right? She gives intelligence to great acharyas to actually understand the inner meaning or to give a meaning, because devotees like our acharyas can't even tolerate hearing such words, such things about a great devotee like Ambarīṣa Mahārāja, because Shastra says that you are not supposed to hear. You're supposed to close your ears and go or whatever, right? So Our acharyas can't even tolerate hearing such, mm, um, you know, uh, such words about a great devotee like Ambarīṣa Mahārāja. So Devi gives them intelligence to actually understand the same words differently. So though Dru Shamsasya here, Dru Shamsasya means who is so real. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying Dhruv also means local people, by all the local people. Shamsasya means of Ambarisha, whose character was glorified. So it means that the king's character was glorified by all the local people. So like this, he is completely reversed the meaning of these scoldings. Dhruv Shamsasya, Shriya Unmatasya. So here it says he was puffed up because of great opulence, but Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, though he had great opulence, he was not puffed up. Dharma Vyatikramam. So here it says that he transgressed the rules, or Ishamaninaha, he interpreted that he was so respectful to the Supreme Lord that he did not transgress the laws. So here it says Ishamani. So Dharma Vyatikaram Vishnu Abhaktasya Ishamanina, because he was considering him himself supreme. So he transgressed the laws of religion. But the other meaning given here is that because he so respectful to the Supreme Lord, he did not transgress the laws. So completely opposite meaning. And this happens in Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary a lot. And also like maybe I mentioned before, in conversation, especially like of course the Mangalacharan, the first verse of Bhagavatam itself, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives five meanings, one deeper than the other, going up to Madhurya Rasa. So it's amazing. I mean, we might think that okay, but Prabhupada says don't interpret. Yes, that is for ordinary people like us. But acharyas who perfectly, and they will not be making any adjustments in the Sanskrit to give their meanings. It is just how the Sanskrit can be Sanskrit samasa. So there's so many things, and I don't want to get into details, but the structure, the words used, the compounds that have been used, etc. Everything can be broken differently to bring out different meanings. That is the beauty and complexity of Sanskrit, unlike other languages. So our acharyas go into they are great scholars, right? So they go into the depth of these things. And for just the first verse of Bhagavatam, Prabhupada gave us what we can digest. Prabhupada gave us the meaning which we can digest. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given four other meanings, which are one deeper than the other. And similarly, Krishna's conversations with, like Madhumangal, Gopis, even Sakhas many times, all having multiple meanings. Mm. Literally, we can say double meanings. Mostly, it is two meanings. Mm. And many times, this kind of conversation, Krishna gets caught in the middle. Like Madhumangal says something right in front of Yashoda Maya. And Yashoda Maya understands it in some way, but Krishna knows what Madhumangal is saying. So, like this, it's very, very, it's very different. It's somewhat, what is the word? Gives you happiness because nothing is spoken directly. So nobody can understand what's going on. Uh, so some conversation is happening, except for those who know actually what's being talked about, which is normally just Krishna, Sakhas and Sakhis. Others have no idea what's going on. So completely like secret conversation in the open, and not they going and whispering in another's ears. Like, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is many, many times brings out such moods in his commentary, and of course other acharyas also. So anyway, so here Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is very nicely supporting Maharaj Ambarisha and all his activities, which is nice. Yo mam atithim ayatam atityena nimantrya cha adatva bhuktavam stasya sadyaste darshaye phalam. Maharaj Ambarisha, you have invited me to eat as a guest, but instead of feeding me, you yourself have eaten first. Because of your misbehavior, I shall show you something to punish you. Now, I was talking about this, right? Misunderstanding. I wanted to speak about that. Yeah. So, like in this verse, so there we can see that there is so much of misunderstanding. See, actually, what was the reality was different, and what was understood or interpreted by Durvasa was completely different. And many times we see this happening in real life, especially amongst devotees. Among devotees and non-devotees, though, anyway, it's expected because non-devotees cannot understand devotees' behavior. Mm. Mm. But even amongst devotees, many times we see that there is misunderstanding. Devotee does something with some intention, and another devotee, just without even asking for clarification, simply misunderstands. Meaning, simply understands it the way he or she wants. That's all. And it creates so much of havoc. I've had these experiences. I've said something or done something, and somebody else has assumed something else completely, which was not at all what it was. Mm. And then at some point of time, they came and then they asked, saying that, "Why did you do this?" I said, "Boss, but I didn't do that at all. I didn't mean that, or this is what I meant." It could have been just a simple clarification saying that, "Did you mean this?" But unfortunately, this is some conversation I've been having with devotees over the last few days, weeks, especially with connected to, whatever preaching Krishna has given me. I see that not everybody is open-minded with me to discuss situations, problems, etc. Most people discuss behind me about things that I have done or about some other thing, but they don't have the faith to come and talk to me. And then I was asking other devotees who are not like that, and they're very, very happy to come and open up and discuss with me and ask questions, etc. So I was asking, saying that, why you are able to do that? It's the same way I deal with everybody. Why is that they can't do it? So one of the reasons that I think is because of the devotee's own false ego. Now, if a devotee has false ego, then he or she will be reluctant to come and talk to some crazy guy like me, because I'm going to tell the truth, right? I'm going to tell whatever it is, good, bad, ugly, and possibly they can't digest it. So they don't come to me at all. And then there are these other devotees who are happy to hear the truth and correct themselves. And they're making tremendous progress. I can see that. And those who are reluctant, who don't want to speak and want to simply assume things. So they will not speak to me, but they will make some assumptions. Maybe Prabhu said like this. Maybe Prabhu meant like this. But why can't it just be clarified? It can't be clarified. It won't get clarified because they have false ego. Because they're afraid to ask. And if I say that, no, no, this is what it was, and if it points back to them, they are uncomfortable accepting it because they're not still completely sincere in their hearts. And it creates lot of problems, lots of problems. Sometimes we think that asking for a clarification is difficult, but actually asking for clarification is not difficult. What we assume and do and carry in our hearts pose that actually is more difficult than a simple clarification. So it's always, I mean, see, Durvasa Muni could have, instead of saying all this, he could have just asked, saying that, why did you drink water? And Ambarīṣa Mahārāja would have given a perfectly Shastric answer. Of course, Durvasa Muni, still because of maybe his, false ego about his own position, could have become angry, but that would have been a different reason. Instead of, saying so many bad things about about Ambarīṣa Mahārāja, which really upset Vishnu also. Right? This is blasphemy. This is sadhu ninda, Vaishnava aparad. Like crazily, simply mouth, but Krishna has given mouth. Okay, let me just use it. Very, very important verse, for devotees. We should never ever assume. The other day I was having a conversation with somebody and they said that we always thought you were like this. I said, why did you think I am like that? There's no need, right? If you had some doubt, you could have just come and asked me. No, no, we thought like that. I said, okay, now you think that it's not like that? He said, yes, yes, yes. Now we are clear that it's not like that. And then for many years, that they had some wrong understanding about what I do or why I do. I mean, I'm just giving my example because I keep experiencing this all the time. So it's not required to assume things about other people. We can ask in the right mood. Humbly, we can always ask whoever it is, saying that, is this what you meant? Did it mean that, is this because what I did like this the other day, is that, and, it can, if even that also seen, some devotees ask like that, and when I say no, they still are not ready to accept. They say, no, 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 something, you will have something in your mind when you say that. Now, if you don't trust what I'm saying, why should you should not even ask me, right? And it's not right to not trust. Of course, I mean, some people maybe we should not trust, but not everybody. That also we should know. So there are a lot of things to understand. See, whenever we are having this kind of conversations, when on one side there's a pure devotee and on the other side there are, other scenarios, we should understand, saying that these are also things that we should avoid so that we don't remain a non-devotee. We also try to become to the position of a devotee. Very, very important. Very, very important. So always nice to clarify. Yeah. So here, Durvasa Muni is saying, you invited me as a guest and you yourself have eaten first. And obviously, Durvasa Muni knew that he had not eaten first. He had only just drank water, but he interpreted his drinking water to eating, which was not required. Because of your misbehavior, I shall show you something to punish you. Now, see, pride, anger, all anarthas surfacing. Great Muni, Durvasa Muni, great Muni, but nothing in front of a devotee. Mm. Mm. And Ambarīṣa Mahārāja was still like just standing with hands folded. Prabhupada writes, a devotee cannot be defeated by a so-called mystic yogi. Name Bhakta Pranashyati. Krishna has given a promise, commitment that no, my devotee will not perish. And Krishna will protect his devotees in all situations. No doubt. No doubt. This will be proved by the failure of Durvasa Muni's endeavor to chastise Maharaja Ambarīṣa. Prabhupada always used to say, so many evil forces, demoniac forces, they don't want us to preach Krishna consciousness, so they become enemies. But Krishna will always protect. Krishna will always protect such devotees because they are doing it for his pleasure. Harava bhaktasya kuto mahad gunaha. One who is not a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord has no good qualifications. However great a mystic, philosopher, or fruitive worker he may be, only a devotee emerges victorious in all circumstances. Please note this. Prabhupada is not simply making a statement, which is a fact. Every statement Prabhupada makes is an absolute fact. Of course, then there is a qualification of a devotee. It is contextual to whatever is being discussed. So it's about a pure devotee. A devotee, a pure devotee. Devotee means a pure devotee emerges victorious in all circumstances, irrespective of how difficult, complicated a situation might look. A devotee emerges victorious. As will be shown in this incident involving the rivalry between Durvasa and Maharaja. Maharaja Ambarisha did not have any enmity towards Durvasa Muni. It was just Durvasa Muni who had enmity. Hmm. So one-sided, crazy, enmity. So much so crazy that, he wanted to kill him. How haughty, how much full of pride one can be. That just for transgressing, apparent transgression of law, which possibly Durvasa Muni felt was disrespectful towards him, so which was also because of false ego, he decided to kill him. I mean, like nowadays we see, some very rich, influential people, somebody says something, they just take this whatever defense weapon they have, they'll just take and like, kill the other person like that. We've seen so many things, so many issues like that. Full of false ego, full of false ego. That is why great mystic Siddhi, all this is of no consequence, no consequence. Prabhupada, that's why right. So devotee cannot be defeated by a so-called mystic. He might have great powers, but nothing, that power is nothing in front of a pure devotee, because pure devotee is directly protected by Krishna. What power can stand in front of Krishna's power? So nothing can happen. Nothing can happen to a devotee. Krishna protects. Again, I keep saying this. This is the mood of surrender of a devotee. If a devotee has full faith, rakshishati iti vishvaso, right, then Krishna will protect. Ye yatha mam prapadyanti. To the extent of our surrender, to that extent Krishna will reciprocate. And that's all. The trigger for reciprocation is our submission. That's all. Mm. Of course, sometimes because devotees, because of their humility, sometimes think that, oh, maybe Krishna will not give me protection because I'm not such an exalted devotee. Which is true, which is the mood in which one has to be. But Krishna sees the sincerity, in the heart of a devotee, and he will always reciprocate, take care, protect, whatever is required, right? And the devotee, pure devotee has that faith in Krishna, saying, because I'm not doing anything wrong. Mm. So Krishna is there. Krishna will take care, even if there are, these kind of not so welcome forces. एवं ब्रुवाण उत्कृत्य जटां रोषप्रदीपितः तया स निर्ममे तस्मै कृत्यां कालानलोपमाम्. As Durvasa Muni said this, his face became red with anger. Uprooting a bunch of hair from his head, he created a demon resembling the blazing fire of devastation to punish Maharaja Ambarīṣa. Just see how much anger, how much power he had, both. Hmm. Hmm. That's why there's a saying in English saying, power corrupts. Absolute power absolutely corrupts. Power corrupts, meaning if you have some position, this one and all that, you use that, misuse that. Corrupt. You can be corrupt. Absolute power absolutely corrupts, meaning if you're like absolute power over something, meaning nobody else to question, and then it'll absolutely corrupt. Mm, Like in the case of our Ritvik temple. Absolute power, absolute corruption. So that's why it's always good in spiritual life to be under somebody. It's always good. Mm. So that we will not have absolute power, so we will not become absolutely corrupt. Corrupt doesn't mean that you have to, just misuse of that power for some selfishness like that also, or it can be even worse things. So Durvasa Muni had that power and he just unleashing that. तामापतन्तीं ज्वलतीम् असिहस्तां पदाभुवं वेपयन्तीं समुद्विग्वीक्ष्य न चचाल पदा नृपः. Taking a trident in his hand and making the surface of the earth tremble with his footsteps, that blazing creature came before Maharaja Ambarīṣa. So whoever, that creature who was created by Ambarīṣa Maharaj, by Durvasa Muni, so he came before Ambarīṣa Maharaj. But the king, upon seeing him, was not at all disturbed and did not move even slightly from his position. Just look at this. What faith a devotee can have in Krishna is the strength of his knowledge and his faith, that he did not budge from his position. He did not even slightly move from his position. He was not at all disturbed. And we can understand where we stand, when we hear things like this. Small things we keep running to Krishna. Okay, we are devotees, we are chanting Hare Krishna. We are, on one end we have sincere desires to serve him. But on the other end, we have Hridaya Daurbalyam, weakness of heart. We have other anarthas, and we're still on the process, on the path, but we have to look up to this stage. Small things we get disturbed, and here Ambarīṣa Mahārāja is facing death. And he was a Kshatriya also. See, interestingly, right? He was a Kshatriya. He could have defended himself. But he's not defending because it is the order of a Brahmana. So many amazing things. Narayana para sarvena kutaschana bibhyati. A pure devotee of Narayana is never afraid of any material danger, and there's nothing like spiritual danger. There's only material danger. Only spiritual danger is that we fall down, go away from Krishna. That we should be afraid of. We should be afraid of going away from Krishna, but we should never be afraid of anything material. There are many examples of devotees such as Prahlada Maharaj, who was tortured by his father, but was not at all afraid. Although he was only a 5-year-old boy. Therefore, following the examples of Ambarīṣa Mahārāja and Prahlada Maharaj, a devotee should learn how to tolerate all such awkward positions in this world. And the point here is, Prabhupada is not saying how to deal with all such awkward positions. He's saying how should one tolerate all such awkward positions, meaning there's no other solution. You just tolerate. I mean, we try to do whatever we have to do in that situation, but we have to simply tolerate the awkward situation because Krishna will protect. Devotees are often tortured by non-devotees, yet the pure devotee, depending fully on the mercy of the Supreme Lord, is never disturbed by such inimical activities. So we should just not worry too much about these, of course, Prabhupada says, upayam chintayet pragno apayam cha chintayet. So one who is thinking about a solution, we should also think about dangers and not just be simply, not just think about, not, we should not remain without thinking about the negative side of a situation. But even if we think about negative side and we might do something to, protect ourselves from that, still the faith should be in Krishna, saying that, okay, whether this works or not works, Krishna will protect because I'm sincere. I'm not doing anything wrong. Because material world, there are so many dangers, but Krishna will take care. So we have to depend fully on the mercy of the Supreme Lord. This is so important. And when we depend fully, again, the same thing. I mean, this whole Ambarīṣa Mahārāja episode is Rakshishyati iti Vishwaso. And in fact, I mean, Ambarīṣa Mahārāja did not even have it in his mind or pray to Krishna to come and protect, nothing. He just simply was like, he was just pure devotee, just remembering the Lord, and that's all. Nowhere in these pages is it mentioned saying that Ambarīṣa Mahārāja was expecting to be protected. Nor did Prahlad Maharaj have any expectations to be protected from his father or remain alive. Nothing. Whatever Krishna wants. Depend fully on the mercy of Krishna. Krishna, if you want this, okay, fine. Of course, then sometimes this question comes saying that, should we always simply just... yesterday I was having a discussion with someone who was saying that, shouldn't we leave our eternal position to also Krishna? Surrender, doesn't it mean that we fully depend on Krishna, so we don't even desire how we want to serve him? And I said, no, that's not correct. As a jiva, we have free will, and our free will has to be expressed to show love. And love is shown not not in submission. As in, we cannot be submissive in our love towards a person. We must show that love to that person. And showing love to Krishna is, we have a certain way in which we want to show love, and that is the expression of our, of our love and rasa. So it's not that we'll wait for Krishna to tell me how I should serve him, but that's not love. That will become like vidhi, vaidhi bhakti. So on one end, we should definitely have desires to serve Krishna in a particular way. I think the question also came saying that, our acharyas never desire to go back to Krishna. I said, like, who said? Nothing like that. No devotee wants to remain away from Krishna even for a moment. But then devotee thinks, no, okay, if Krishna wants me to go there, it's fine. It's up to him. And if Krishna has some very big responsibility for somebody somewhere else, then he might do that also. But there is nothing wrong in desiring to serve Krishna in a particular way. There is nothing wrong. But then at the end of it, we should also be ready for whatever Krishna is going to do, because he knows best. But in general, Krishna will fulfill it. Unless, like I said, like Prabhupada did not want to come here, but Krishna wanted, because he had big work for Prabhupada, so it couldn't have been as per Prabhupada's desire that he remained in Goloka. So Prabhupada was sent. So like this, great acharyas, they don't want to leave. No, so who would want to leave Krishna? Once crazy people only, would want to leave Krishna. But Krishna is such a personality. I mean, it's the this thing we keep seeing that sometimes most of the times preaching happens by because of the how people are attracted to the preacher generally, right? And we can see that if ordinary, I mean, of course, no devotee is ordinary, but devotees who are not Krishna, but devotees themselves have so much of, they can attract people to Krishna consciousness. People get attracted by by their nature, behavior, etc. What about Krishna? What about Krishna? Just imagine what would be to be with Krishna, and why would anyone leave him and come? Why would anybody want to live away from him? You can say, no, no, but chanting Hare Krishna means being in the presence of Krishna, but it's not the same. It's a process which is taking us there, and when that perfection happens, we will actually get experience of Krishna, direct experience of Krishna. And once you get direct experience of Krishna, you cannot say, okay, now I'm okay, I will replace that by Nama. Our Acharya Shad Goswamis are running from tree to tree saying that, oh Radha, oh Krishna, oh Lalita, where are you? Why? Because that is the separation, Vipralamba. They can't live without Krishna, Radha, Rajadam, Vrindavan. They can't live. So it's not wrong to desire. Okay, but we fully depend on the mercy of Krishna, saying, okay, Krishna, whatever you desire, it's up to him. He can do anything. And he does also. And those who think, no, 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 it's my karma phala, this is how it's going to happen, Krishna will say, okay, if you think like that, then why should I change it? But if somebody says, no, no, who cares? There's no karma phala nonsense. Krishna is there, Krishna will take care, he will do the needful. So then such devotees are, who have full faith in Krishna, they fully depend on mercy of Krishna and they want to do whatever it takes to please Krishna. Mm. And that personal desire to please Krishna in a particular way can be there. There is nothing wrong in that. There's nothing wrong in that. Okay, so I'll stop here. If there are any questions, comments, we can discuss. Yeah, Rohini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Danvat Pranam.
Pranam Mataji.
Yeah, so anger, I mean, I'm trying to understand my situation in this story. So in the morning, it is like, I'm like Durvasa Muni. So how do I control my anger?
Then you tell the others to become Ambarīṣa Mahārāja.
Both of us also, me and my Prabhu, both of us like
Oh
Durvasa
my
Muni
God.
only.
Oh, yo, Krishna. Okay. So explosion, volcano
Yeah, true,
eruption.
Prabhu.
Oh my God. Okay. It's
The
not
thing
good.
is, I didn't check my groceries. Wheat flour was over, rice was over.
Ah,
So I got late and
okay. Okay, so anyway, I mean, see, these things we have to learn. So one thing I
yeah,
generally tell husband and wife devotees is saying that one of us in marriage relationship, one of us have to give up. One of us have to, we both cannot remain aggressive. One of us have to give up, saying that it's okay. I don't like, actually for devotees, one thing we should realize is saying that it's not happy to be in the middle of fight and argument, and we'll only feel bad after that. Why would we want to create such a situation? So one of between husband and wife, at least one of them should give up, hands up, saying that okay, I accept defeat. Fine. It's fine. It could be that you accept defeat or Prabhu accepts defeat. Now it depends on who amongst you, your natures, who is the one who will take a lower position, and that person will make progress in devotion. It's not about that I lost this battle. It's
Mhm.
not really in any battle here. We're just in battle with our own anarthas. But
Right,
we have to understand that one of between husband and devotee, one of us have to give up
right.
this nonsense aggression, because first of all our chanting gone, whatever
Yes,
chanting we
Prabhu.
did in the morning wasted, right? Because one instance, and this is just material pressure, right?
Right.
And if we simply remain calm, depend on Krishna, some solution will come up. We might think immediately Krishna will give some intelligence, some other item you might think of cooking. Or even if it's actually, I mean, in this case, I'm just saying because you told me the situation, it was, I actually, somewhat, you should have been in a submissive mode because it
Right.
was you, you should have
But
seen your
I'm in
grocery.
anxiety. I'll be in
No,
tension
but
to
that's
keep
not
this
a
thing ready.
justification.
So
That's
I'm
not.
not able to tolerate that triggering. So how do
Yeah.
I tolerate that
Yeah, you
triggering?
have to know that you get triggered. That's
Yeah.
how you tolerate. See, we have to know this saying that, see, it's my, if it's my mistake, why am I imposing it on somebody else? Right? First of all, it's my mistake. I should be in a submissive mood to say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see my groceries. So can you please,
Mm.
I know it's inconvenient for you. I didn't plan for it in the morning. Please, it's urgent. I have to prepare this. That's the mood in which this should ideally be approached, right? Because it was my mistake.
Not only that, Prabhu, Hamsi broke the plate, so I hit her because I told her you
Oh,
should not do like this, and you were saying, why you're hitting so
okay.
many things in the morning.
So Durvasa Muni is like teaching you a lot, I think.
Prabhu, Prabhu
True.
is like sending kids to
See,
school is like a war zone.
war. Yeah, that's true for many Matajis. I mean, it's not just about Rohini Mataji. I've seen a lot of. See, generally, one thing I like to say, and I used to be in this situation many times in the past, that we should not worry about time. Sometimes, we are thinking that I'm in war against time, but we can
Right.
never be in war. We can never be at war against time because time is Krishna. Right? Now you depend on Krishna, saying that, okay, Krishna, this is like this, but, I'm just surrendering to you. Right?
That
Depend on
also I'm
Krishna.
forgetting, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Remember
So we should
Krishna is
write
also
down. So
forgetting.
kitchen, Mataji, simple
Hmm.
solution I'm telling you. In the
Write
kitchen,
down.
write
Okay.
down. Write it on your whatever cupboard, whatever
Sure,
blah,
sure.
right, or fridge or whatever, where you can keep looking at it, is saying
Yeah.
that everything is under Krishna's control. And you write down saying that in the kitchen you're not going to be angry. Right?
Right.
Because he's
True,
Krishna.
it affects the food also.
No,
I
yeah,
know
and
that.
Christian is Radharani's realm, no,
Yeah.
and I'm saying Radharani will be least pleased with this kind of a
Right.
behavior, right?
Right.
So morning, and it helps a lot. If you make this habit, if you make a practice of this, saying that
True, true.
I am not going to come under pressure in the morning, right? It's fine. What it will do, it will give us intelligence to little bit pre-prepare previous day, because now
Right.
we don't. It's like, once my Guru Maharaj told, husband and wife wanted divorce, and Maharaj started the conversation saying that, okay, no option for a divorce, now discuss, which
Okay.
means that we should not give that option for ourselves. No option to get angry in the morning. Okay, now what should I do? Right? So then automatically we'll work out solutions in such a way that we can take care of our morning pressure, morning anxieties. And you can pray for this, also during your chanting, you pray to Krishna saying that, this is non-devotional behavior. My non-devotional behavior coming under pressure and shouting at people and beating and all that, it's not good for me. It's not good for anybody. So please help me come out of it. Right? You can pray for it. But see, I
And
appreciate
mm,
this, I mean, which is why, I like this group of devotees. They don't mind. Oh, what will people think? Oh, Rohini Mataji is like this, should I talk to her, not talk to her? No, you're not worried about it. This itself is an indication that you want to come out of it, right? And sometimes our anarthas are very difficult, right? So it's okay. It's
and
okay to be.
expecting husband to be part of helping in the morning, is it that wrong or right,
No, but
Prabhu?
then you have to pre-plan that. You can't just one day impose it. So you sit and discuss, saying that, see, this is my situation. Like, can you take up these things? It's a simple conversation, and
Mm.
husband also has to understand. And if there are really, I mean, time pressures, then the one who has little more time overall in the day should adjust, right? Which will be a non-working wife should adjust. In general, I'm saying, I'm giving a very general guideline, right? And sometimes some Mataji might have really health problems and will require somebody to help, etc., etc. Those situations have to be handled differently, because see, for a man who is working, suppose say morning chanting time is gone because something had to be done. Now whole day
Yes.
he's not going to get time back, and it's going to result in some worse horrible chanting for him, right? Or horrible devotional time. So then that also, you also have to be reasonable, he also has to be reasonable. And this is not just suddenly today, okay, Monday morning I just decided saying that you need to be helping me out in the work in the kitchen. No, that's not right. That's not fair, right? So then you have a discussion and say that, okay, this is what it is. Every day I'm coming under this kind of pressure. And there might be other solutions also, right?
Yes.
See, sit calmly and discuss. I'm saying, if we have, you know, If you're always on fighting mood only, and we don't want to sit and talk with our own, husband and wife in the house, how will we make progress?
True.
So, which is very, very important. And like I said, for me, the beginning of success is this opening up and saying that, I made a mistake. Then that itself is an indication that you're on the way to recovery, right? Very soon you'll come out of it. So you can all pray also, other devotees can pray for Rohini Mataji, and, so that she can not become Durvasa Muni and she can become Ambarīṣa Mahārāja. Okay.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Sorry. I stand with Mataji. At least Mataji's got some reason to be like, behave like that. I don't have any reason. And 50%, 100% of the time, hats off to Uncle.
Yeah.
How he
That's
takes
what I
it.
was. That's what I would have told now, saying that it's just
Yeah,
because of
it's a
Ankur
heart of.
Prabhu that you are
I'm with
you're
him for,
still
I'm
going
married
on.
so long. For anything, I snap at him. I don't know why. I tell him, you're so unexpressive. You just don't bother. Like, I don't know. And I find with other
Nah.
devotees, his behavior is so much better. With me, I think I'm just taken for granted.
Mm.
And then I just snap.
No, and I can.
And hats off to, Mataji, she started. I would have also, spoken.
No,
And
I
hats
can
off
only
to,
visualize. I can only visualize Ankur
even
Prabhu
in the
having a
morning.
smile on his face. That's all.
Yeah, no, he's not around. But and how many times I promised senior devotees, and I've promised Maharajas that I will not fight with them. The more I do that, and even just sitting in the car, something I say,
Mm.
it'll. I don't know. I don't know, Prabhu. I'm not able. I'm not like this with others. Nobody
Mm.
else except him. I don't know why this guy takes my whips. I don't know. And then we don't talk.
It's
He
just
doesn't
previous.
apologize. Neither after 10, 15 days, like just two of us, and then when the elasticity snaps, I'll say, okay, ठीक है. And just yeah.
Yeah.
And another problem among devotees is, Prabhu, like now suppose you and I are talking. We're talking on some subject, and I just mentioned, okay, that much, like why don't you? That Mataji is standing by Chili her this thing. आपने क्या बोला मेरे लिए? अरे, I'm not telling you about you.
About you, yeah.
I'm saying this now, like in the Rath Yatra incident, there were 15, 20 brahmacharis there. Only one particular, two people knew how to tie the deities to the thing. So I was telling him, I said, Prabhu, अगर आप लोग सीख लेते हो, हर साल इधर ही खड़े रहते हो आप लोग, why don't you all also learn this? Suppose by that Prabhu is not there,
Right,
or he's
right,
not
right.
there, at least, and then it's saving time. So
Yeah.
that Prabhu's, आप ऐसे कैसे बोल रहे हैं मेरे लिए?
Yeah.
I said, मैंने आपका नाम भी नहीं लिया प्रभु. And I said, don't raise your voice and talk. I've been just telling them that we should learn, so that suppose Anukul is not there anymore. I mean, like, there should be somebody who can step in. And
Yeah.
you're standing year after year, standing just there looking. Why don't you learn how to tie the deities?
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah.
and maybe like if there was some other Mataji, they would have picked up a fight. And I mean, with the grace of God, they do. I said, Prabhu, first listen to what I said. I'm not even talking to you. So the problem is this eavesdropping, and the problem is we think, oh, I'm absolutely right.
Yeah.
Nobody can think,
That is the
like that.
that is a bigger problem. We
That
just
is the
we
problem.
don't
That
want we don't want
if I-
anybody to tell us anything.
if I can't do it, nobody else can do it.
Yeah.
Like if I have to do this, I just have to. Why can't you step back when you can't do some? Like why can't you give the other persons an opportunity to do it?
So good chanting, good hearing is the only solution for this. Otherwise, actually, if we do this from the beginning, right, from the beginning of our devotion, these things don't become difficult at all. But unfortunately, people don't do it ever in their devotional life, and they're on their own doing whatever they want. No authority to take care, no authority to guide. Obviously, this is what it results in. Right. So, which is why, Prabhupada's morning program is simply powerful. Simply do your chanting properly here. Right. What Prabhupada is saying in his books. We can't, very difficult to go wrong. Even if we do, yes, we are always so fallen that we can even do nonsense even after that. But at least, there'll be some conscience pricking us, saying that, no, but this is not what is Prabhupada is expecting out of us. So, thoda, we'll at least become more conscious about what we are doing. Anyway, we all have our path.
But Prabhu, one thing, whether you're doing anything good, bad, ugly, anything, like it is always best that you speak up to something.
Yeah, that's
Like
true. It's
at
always.
home, like I'm not just praising myself. Like if I tell Anukul, "Maine aise ye kiya," whether I pick up a fight and I'll say, "No, I use this language, or I've done this, or I haven't done this." He believes, because Prabhu, he knows that I will not lie to him. So
Yeah.
so that this is very important in life, that you should
Yeah.
not be changing and twisting things depending your person.
Yeah.
Like it
It's
should
always
be
nice to be
nice to
straightforward.
be
Yes, Mantri.
straight. And
Absolutely.
I when I make a mistake, or I tell मेरे से ये हो गया Ashok, गलती हो गई. I did this,
Yeah.
I told this to my daughter-in-law. I told this
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
I said this. I shouted at the help.
Yeah.
So Prabhu, like then he takes over. He manages. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. It's
I'm
good.
telling you, for all the Matajis, whether we like it or we don't like it, we all make mistakes, and we all have a big ego.
Yeah.
So at least share it
No,
with
and not just Matajis, but even
you.
Prabhus. But I'm saying, see, the overall as devotees, we should be willing to, submit to. I mean, if we done a mistake, we've done a mistake. I mean, what is the big deal? How are we going to learn if you're not going to accept our mistake at all, right? We'll never learn. So anyway, yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Arun Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
Prabhu,
so
a
happy
question.
Arun Prabhu is speaking in class. Today is party. Boliye Prabhu.
Prabhu, means this Durvasha Muni was the avatar of Lord Shiva.
No, not Avatar, Amsha. Yeah.
Amsha Avtara.
Yeah.
So means he was also in Tamagunas, that he offended the devotee, or he was in the influence of Maya, because of that he did that.
Yeah, so I see these similar questions always see it's one answer, right? Whenever it is in connection with the great devotee of the Lord, it is Lord's desire. It's always Lord's desire. Lord uses other entities as required to glorify his devotee. So it will be inspiration by Paramatma to Durvasa Muni to do that. And Durvasa Muni is generally anyway known to be that kind of a personality. He's known to be a person who's short-tempered, who's going to get angry, right? And he's the right person for a situation like this. So Krishna would have engaged him in his service for this pastime. Yeah. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, bro.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. So I had a similar question. So somehow I feel that, Durvasa Muni, because he appears everywhere, just like Indra. Right? So everywhere Indra is used
Yeah.
as an example to teach
Some
story.
specific qualities are being highlighted, not so good
Yes,
qualities are
yes.
being highlighted through
Correct,
each of these
correct, sir.
personalities.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
somehow I feel that, so because either Indra or, Durvasa Muni appear everywhere, because Durvasa Muni, because if you hear some of his pastimes, I mean, he is also involved in the pastimes of Radharani also, right, Prabhu? Right?
Yeah.
So he's such a great, I mean, even Radharani personally serves him, right?
Yeah.
I heard, that's right, Prabhu?
Yeah.
So and then at the same time he's also in the pastimes like this. I mean, it's just so mind-boggling to understand the
Yeah, which is why,
position of
some of these
Durvasa.
great personalities, we cannot really, we cannot comment on their character or anything like that, right? We can see what
Yes,
they're doing and learn from it, right? And it's generally known that, okay, Durvasa Muni is short-tempered. So for us, it's not about why Durvasa Muni is short-tempered. It's about we should not be short-tempered, right? We see Indra doing
yes,
nonsense. We should not be too bothered about why Indra is like this. That's nothing to do with our. Okay, we are not going to. We should not be like this. We should not be like this. And in fact, this is the approach we have to take with any devotee, for that matter, right?
yes,
But
yes.
unfortunately, we forget about the learning involved, and we get stuck with the person. Right, which is where we end up doing Vaishnava Aparadha, right? So we should not worry about the people involved. We should be worried about the service or the learning involved. Then we will be simple,
That's correct.
straightforward, and make progress. When we are too stuck up with the person, is when we have a problem. Yeah, good point.
Yeah. Okay. So general, we should not develop any kind of negative attitude towards these great
Anybody for that matter,
personalities.
and definitely such great personalities who are in the pages of Bhagavatam.
Oh, okay.
We are nobody to to have opinion about them.
Yes, even Indra also, right, Prabhu? Because
Yeah.
even Indra.
Absolutely. I mean, Indra, And Krishna was he was more closer to Indra than to Brahma. In Brahma Vimavana Leela and Govardhan, Krishna came and told him, Indra, don't do like this again. Krishna did not even speak in front of Brahma. He just kept quiet. Brahma had to just assume and go. Right? So actually our Acharya is right saying that, it's like Indra got more mercy than Brahma in that way. Even though he did
Yes.
nonsense, right? And Brahma did not do so much nonsense. Right? Brahma just was testing, that's all. So yeah, these things are, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Nice discussion. Okay, we'll close here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samveta Gaura Bhaktavrinda ki jai. Ancha Kalpatarubhishta Kripal Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namananda Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Samveta Gaura Bhaktavrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you
Hare
so much.
Krishna, Prabhu. Pranam, Prabhu.